Hi, my name is David Cheseldine. I'm going to show you how to create a portfolio, sometimes known as a Webfolio, using the new 2016 version of Pebblepad with the 2018 updates. So I'll start from the university homepage, click on the Eportfolio link and log in using my normal university username and password. That takes me to the Pebblepad homepage. Everything that you create in Pebblepad and everything that you upload to Pebblepad lives in your asset store. There are several ways to get to your asset store. One is to click on Assets in this name block here. And you can see there's nothing in my asset store because I haven't created anything or uploaded anything to Pebblepad. So we're going to create a portfolio, a Webfolio, which is one of the tools within Pebblepad. So I'll go back to Pebble Home, and to get started, I click to get creative, click to create a portfolio. And you can see that a portfolio is basically a website. The navigation is going to be in tabs along the top, and then the content is going to be in the area underneath. And on this default page, I get a large banner, which I can resize or replace. And then I get this area here, which is where I'm actually going to add my content. So first of all, I probably want to change the name of my portfolio. So I click on that text and I'll call it my portfolio. Right away, I'm going to save in case I lose connection on my network. So I click Save. I'm prompted for a title, and this is the title it will have in the asset store. So it's important to give it a really clear title in case you're using Pebblepad later on in different modules, because everything ends up together in the asset store. So I'll call this B12345 portfolio and confirm. And if we now go into my asset store, Pebble Home, Assets, there it is, my new portfolio. So to continue working on this portfolio, I click on it once to edit it. And I probably want to change the name of this first default page that's been put in. So to do that, I click on the cogwheel, then I overwrite the text that says new page. I'll call this introduction and confirm. At any time, you can open the properties sidebar, and that allows you to set the properties for the various what are called blocks in your portfolio page. So for instance, at the top is the banner block, and that's the only block we have at the moment. So if I open properties and click on the banner block, then we should see various properties that I can set for the banner. For example, if I don't want a subtitle, I uncheck add a subtitle and my subtitle disappears. There are various other properties. I'll have to leave you to explore those. So I close the properties sidebar, and I'm ready to start adding some content to this page. So I do that using the Add Content button. The simplest type of block I can add is a text block. So I copy and paste, or I type into this text block. This is my introduction, etc., etc. I'm going to copy and paste that a few times so I've got some text to play with. You can see the formatting bar opens at the top, so I can format some of that text if I want to. So, for example, I might make it bold or change the font or the size. If I want to undo that formatting, I click this button and it undoes those steps. We said a portfolio is a website, and a website normally contains links. There are two types of link I'm going to show you. A link to an external page, such as the BBC, and a link to an asset that you upload to Pebblepad yourself off your memory stick or off your own computer. So first of all, a link to an external website. So here is the BBC website. I highlight that text. I click on the link button. This is going to be a link to a URL web address. I copy and paste, or I type my URL into this box. I confirm. How do I know if that link works? I have to go into preview mode. And there I can try out the link, and in a new tab, there's the BBC website, so we have a working link. Close that tab, go back into edit mode. The other type of link is called an asset link, because it's to something that you upload to Pebblepad, and everything that you upload to Pebblepad is called an asset. And that might be something like a Word document or a PDF. So I'll use a PDF. Here is a PDF. Highlight it, link, asset, select asset. This sidebar opens. If I already had assets files that I'd uploaded to Pebblepad before, it would list them and I could reuse them if I wanted, but I don't have any in Pebblepad at the moment. So I upload, I find the file on my computer or on my memory stick. Use that PDF, confirm, and there's my link. And once again, if I want to know if that link works, I go into preview mode, try out the link. In a new tab, I'm able to open the link or download the file, and your lecturer will be able to do the same when they mark your portfolio. So that's worked. I go back into edit mode. I close that tab and go back into edit mode. Now we said a Webfolio is a website, and a website normally has more than one web page. So to create our second page, we click on this plus icon, add a new page here. Let's give it a name, main part, and confirm. And you see the second page has opened without a banner. So I can add a banner. There's a banner. Banner takes up quite a lot of screen space, so you might want to add a banner at the end when you finish creating your page and then move it up to the top. You get arrows on the side to move the blocks around. But I'm happy with that banner, so I'll leave it there. In fact, I think I'll get rid of that banner. So my second page, I'm ready to add some content. So I click Add Content. I just need a text block again, so I can show you how to add images. So I'll just put, here is the main part. I could format that or add links. Now we can embed images in a Pebblepad portfolio page. To do that, we can either embed an image at the bottom of the block stack, or we can put an image beside one of the other blocks to the left or to the right. So if we click Add Content and click Image, then it adds an image at the bottom of the current page. We open the asset store. If we had images already in Pebblepad, it would list them here and we could reuse them. But I'm going to choose an image off my computer. Confirm. And I can resize the image and so on. If I open the properties sidebar and click on the image block, then I can add a caption to the image. I can turn the image into a link. I'll leave you to explore the other possibilities for properties, which can be applied to any block, image block or text block. So that's how to add an image at the bottom of the stack. If I wanted to move it up, I could use this button here. I can also put an image beside an existing block. So I can put an image here or here. To do that, I click Add Content, and I click and drag the image and drop it beside an existing block. And then open Asset Store, and this time I can reuse the image because it's already uploaded to Pebblepad. So I click on the image, let's resize it, and perhaps I would put a text block here beside this image. Here is some more text, and you're starting to see how you can build quite a nice balanced looking web page. It's good to have an idea in your head of what your web page is going to look like before you start creating it. So text, image, image, text, then maybe a block of text. You can also embed other media types such as YouTube videos, or MP4 videos or MP3 audios or big quote blocks. I'll leave you to explore the other content types. So if we go into preview mode, we've now got a Webfolio, a website consisting of 2 pages. The first page is called Introduction. It's got a banner, a title, some text and 2 types of link. And the second page is called Main Part, and it's got text, image, image, text. Now everything you create in Pebblepad is totally private until you choose to share it with your lecturer. So if I was ready to share this portfolio, there's several ways to do that again, but the way I tell my students is to go to Pebble Home, go into your asset store, select the portfolio, which is, you need to know that's PO for portfolio. Go down here, I want to share for assessment, and then you have something called a workspace behind the scenes, which is where you submit it to. So I click on the workspace. I've got lots of assignments, you probably only have one, but I'm going to share it to this assignment 4. I get some details about assignment 4, like the deadline, 31st of August 2018. Then I confirm it's my own work and I share it. And at that point, it goes to the area behind the scenes called Atlas, where my lecturer can see it. And you'll notice over here now, it's got a 1 because to indicate that I've shared this portfolio. And I think if I go into this portfolio now, there we are, it says this asset has been shared for assessment. So if we go back into the asset store, 2 things to say. You don't need to submit the files that you link to or the files you embed, such as the image or the documents that I link to, the PDF. And even after you've submitted, you can continue to change your portfolio right up to the deadline. You don't need to resubmit. In fact, you can't resubmit the same portfolio. The thing in your asset store and the thing that you submitted are now a live link. So your teacher will always see the latest version that you work on up to the deadline. So work on it, save it, and your teacher will see those changes automatically without resubmitting. And that's how you create a portfolio, Webfolio in Pebblepad 2016/2018. Thanks for watching. Bye.